if you guys are really us, what number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is a 1989 sci-fi comedy film starring Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves in the titular roles. The film centers around two high school layabouts who must pass a history assignment in order to make a metal band named Wild Stallions, whose music brings world peace and is the foundation of a utopian society in the future. They are visited by a man from the future named Rufus, who also happens to be a fan of them, who tells them all this and that he has been sent to assist them in order to help them with their assignment. He gives them a time machine disguised as a telephone box, sounds familiar, so they can learn about the past directly to make up for everything they didn't learn in history class. While it now has amassed a cult following, Excellent Adventure has received very mixed reviews, the New York Times citing it as having painfully inept comedy. I first watched this film when I was about 10 years old, and as an avid sci-fi fan, especially at the time, I thought it was amazing and funny. I wanted to see if my fond memories of it were simply my underdeveloped brain at the time, and looking at it through rose-tinted glasses. Is it really as bad as some critics say? I also have an announcement to make at the end of this video, so don't forget to watch till the end if you want to take part in something and help out the channel. The film starts with an epic 80s time travel sequence, before some exposition is given to us by George Carlin, aka Rufus. We are then taken to 1988 San Dimas, California, and introduced to Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan, a pair of slackers, discussing their ability to start a band.
While I agree that in time our band will be most triumphant, the truth is, Wild Stallions will never be a super band until we have Eddie Van Halen on guitar.
They then head to school and show an in-depth knowledge of world history.
He's dead?
So, Bill, what you're telling me, essentially, is that Napoleon was a short, dead dude.
When sucking up to their teacher fails, they're told that if they fail their oral report, they will flunk the class. Bill and Ted are then picked up by Bill's rather youthful stepmother, Missy, and while picking up his books for studying, Ted's father, a police officer, tells him that if he doesn't pass this history class, he will be sent to an Alaskan military school ran by a man named Colonel Oates, and accuses him of stealing his keys. The film cuts to 2688, where Rufus is sent back in time to assist Bill and Ted, to the sound of Father Time by Shark Island, with their studying not seeing much improvement at Bill's house.
Had wooden teeth, chased Moby Dick.
That's Captain Ahab, dude.
And Bill's dad wanting some action. The pair head to the Circle K without much luck. Suddenly, a telephone box falls out of the sky, and Rufus introduces himself, before another Bill and Ted appear in a similar box, and explain the film's plot to them. Rufus then takes the boys to Austria in the early 1800s, and Napoleon accidentally manages to be literally dragged along with them when they leave. They decide to let Ted's brother Deacon babysit him, while they travel through time to collect more historical figures. Gotta catch 'em all! Bill and Ted manage to evade Ted's dad to get back to the time machine with the help of a Deputy Van Halen, and head to the late 19th century to pick up some cowboys, and end up in a bar.
Whoa, he didn't even card us, dude.
Yeah, we have to remember this place.
Where they meet Billy the Kid,
He's famous, dude. Let's bag him.
who conveniently needs the assistance of two men during a game of cards, which ends up causing a bar fight due to him being a cheat. The three of them escape and all head to ancient Greece to pick up a certain philosopher.
Socrates. The only true wisdom consists in knowing that you know nothing.
That's us, dude.
Oh yeah.
After philosophizing with him and reciting some Kansas lyrics, they kidnap Socrates and head to 15th century England. Originally planning on taking King Henry with them, they end up talking to some historical babes, not before running into trouble though. While messing around, Ted is knocked down the stairs and is seemingly killed by one of the king's guards, but turns out to have survived due to falling out of his suit when he fell down the stairs. When finding the princesses, Ted recites some of his best prose.
Oh, you beautiful babes from England, for whom we have traveled through time. Will you go to the prom with us in San Dimas? We will have a most triumphant time.
And they say they want to help them escape arranged marriages, but are caught by King Henry and are to be executed. Thankfully, Billy and Socrates manage to save them in the nick of time. While on their way out, a mace hits the machine's antenna, breaking it. I think this was quite an interesting part, as it showed that the film wasn't shying away from the idea that one or both of the main characters could be killed off, despite them being children, even if it was likely that they'd survive, which adds tension. Seriously though, why did Ted rhyme time with time at the end of his love poem? Bill and Ted are then sent to the 25th century and bless the people there.
Be excellent to each other.
Before heading back on their mission, collecting Beethoven, Abraham Lincoln, Joan of Arc, Sigmund Freud, and Genghis Khan. Now, there was one scene that I didn't understand upon viewing it after all this time. The scene where Napoleon eats ice cream in a restaurant with Deacon. Despite watching Excellent Adventure many times as a child, I didn't recognise this scene at all, and I think I must have blocked it from my memory. It left me feeling mostly confused and mildly uncomfortable. I don't understand the point of it. Was it meant to be funny? Realising their antenna was broken, Bill and Ted stop at the Stone Ages and use gum to fix the antenna, a very ingenuitive and teenagery solution. They are then transported back to San Dimas and meet themselves. Rufus tells them that they only have 2 hours before the next morning, when they have to give their presentation. Having been abandoned by Deacon, Bill and Ted have to go and find Napoleon, who happens to be at Waterloo's, while leaving the other historical figures at the shopping centre.
You a musician?
The music of this film is very good, and I really like the song that was playing in the scene where the historical figures destroy the shopping centre, Do You Wanna Play by Extreme. As well as this, I think that this was a well thought out and funny way to get all the characters in the same place before the presentation, getting them all arrested, and it was also a good way to tie in the subplot about Ted's father's keys. Bill and Ted travel back in time and steal Ted's dad's keys and break the historical figures out of prison in time for the presentation, which happens to be a massive success. On the whole, I think Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is a very excellent film, with a very bodacious storyline and characters. It's a great laugh and a good watch if you're just looking for some silly entertainment. The idea of a duo of stupid teens having the fate of society on their shoulders due to their music is quite original and rather ludicrous, although that's just the film's style of humour. Their stereotypical American Valley accent and ignorance paired with an extensive vocabulary as if they've just picked up a thesaurus and used what sounds good to them is quite humorous and makes for some funny dialogue. The musical and pop culture references are a nice touch and suit their characters, as they are teenage metalheads trying to make a band despite not actually being able to play any instruments. Some jokes could be considered ahead of their time or timeless, as people are still making them now, which I have to give the film credit for. The caricatures of the historical figures were quite funny as well, and I liked how they, notably Billy the Kid, just accepted Bill and Ted's ways of being after a short amount of time. The subplot involving the princesses was a good addition, as Bill and Ted having love interests was a decent way to add conflict. The effects in Excellent Adventure are decent, if not a little bit dated, especially while going through the circuits of time, but I don't think this takes away from the film as a whole, and I can excuse it as it doesn't look absolutely terrible in my opinion. And that part with Rufus at the end, I know people exactly like this. You know who you are. Such is the life of an entertainer. I have a lot of ideas for videos, so I'm not sure which one to do next after my review of Bogus Journey next week. In order to solve this problem, I have decided to make 2 polls and let you, the viewers, decide. One poll is on this video, the link is in the description. It will be a choice between the style of video, for example, film review, music review, etc. I will cash in the results and they will be revealed in my next video, along with the next poll, which will be a list of video ideas based on the style of video you guys choose. Make sure to take part in order to make your voice heard. Thank you for watching.
You couldn't navigate your way